Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Kia and you're watching Virtual Access. Alright, so this is the very first weekly check-in of March and we'll be doing from the 1st to the 8th. So really quickly, for those of you that are new to my videos, this is a budget planner from plumpaper.com. Super cute. So I really quickly want to go through my worksheets. So this is my paycheck budget. I do get paid every single week on Wednesdays, and this is how I lay it out throughout the whole month. An overview of the month of how I do just my bills. I do have a video up of how I do this, so if you are interested, make sure you check it out right here. So this is my calendar where I show y'all my expenses throughout the week, every single week, which is my weekly check-in. I did include when my bills are due now, because I am going to be throwing in a cash unstuffing on this video, on my weekly check-ins now. So this worksheet here is the worksheet that I use that you guys will never see. I use this for my cash stuffing videos. So these are every single one of my categories. In yellow is my cash envelopes, in green is my sinking funds number 1. And this is my sinking funds number 2 in blue. My sinking funds 1 is like top priority, and my sinking funds 2 is like low priority stuff that takes a very long time to my goal of what I want in the envelope. So this is my cash envelopes transaction log. So every time I have a transaction for cash envelopes, I put it here. And this is just page 2 of that. This is my weekly check-in worksheet for my cash envelopes that I do every single week. Then I have my sinking funds listed here, 1 and 2, where I put how much I started off with that month, how much I put in, what I spent, and what I'm left with at the end of the month. You guys will see this worksheet on my monthly closeout. So this is my sinking funds transaction log. So this is where I keep all my sinking funds transactions at, and this is just page 2. And then we have our monthly closeout, which obviously you guys will see on my monthly closeout video, where I do the income, my variable expenses, fixed expenses, and my savings throughout the whole month, and see if we're in budget. Then I have my income sheet, obviously, where I track all of my income, anything and everything that comes into the month. Then I have my savings tracker right here. And then I have my savings challenges tracker. So I'm only doing 2 savings challenges right now, the 50 envelopes and the 52 weeks challenge. So I do track those here. And that's pretty much it. So if you guys are interested in this planner, if it looks good to you or whatever, make sure you definitely check out the description box below. So on to this weekly check-in. So first I want to say, make sure you guys check out the timestamps. I do make timestamps for each and every video. That way you guys can skip around if you guys don't want to see certain portions of the video. But let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first day was on the 2nd that I had a transaction, and it was for spending. So I'm going to try and use my pen here. Hopefully it looks... I love this pen, it's super cute. I got it from Amazon. So I'm gonna try and use it. I'm not sure how this is gonna work with the highlighters, but this day I spent $2.68, and this was at Dollar Tree. I just bought some candy. I have to fold this in because it's a little hard to write with those rings. The next transaction was for takeout, and I had 2 of those. So the first takeout transaction, actually both of these transactions was from McDonald's. One was for, I'm not sure if it was different times of the day or something like that. But the first transaction was for $3.09, and then the second one was for $11.84. And both of these were at McDonald's. The next transaction this day was for gas, and on this day I spent $50, and this was at a Sunday. And on this day I had 1 sinking funds transaction. So this transaction came out of Jonathan, which is my fiance. It came out of his category. I just got him some food from Cammy's. You would think this would be a takeout transaction, but it was for him. So I took it out of his envelope, and I spent $15.68. And this was at a Japanese restaurant called Cammy. Okay, so your girl got to switch up because I'm not really feeling the way that looks. I like these pens better. I don't know where my black one is, so I'm just going to have to do dark blue for now. So that was it on the 2nd. So the next day for a transaction was on the 5th, and that was a gas transaction. Okay, so I messed up, you guys. So this transaction was this transaction. So this one actually supposed to be on the 5th. So I spent the $50 at Sunday actually on the 5th. So I have to erase that. I'm gonna do this off camera.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I'm back. I corrected it. It looks a bit messy, but yeah. So this was the actual day. The 5th is when I did my gas transaction. The next transaction was a takeout one. So this one I also went to McDonald's, and I spent $14.08. And then I had 3 transactions for spending. So the first one was at Dollar Tree, and I spent $1.34, and that was just on a wine glass. So they had some kind of like, I don't want to call it a carnival. It was a carnival without the rides. It was just food, like vendors everywhere, like vendors galore pretty much. They had like a kiddie zone or whatever. They had like a little bouncy house or something like that. And train ride for the kids, but it was mainly like food vendors and stuff like that. So we went there and I got some funnel cakes. 2 funnel cakes for me and my son. My oldest son went with me, and I spent $15.12 there. And I think I'm going, it was called B&B Outdoor, so I'm just going to put B&B. And then the last transaction was at Dollar Tree, and I just got myself some candy, and that was $3.20. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm like messing up. If anybody that's new, I do not usually do this, but your girl messed up again. Oh my gosh. So one of these transactions don't even belong. It's the one here with the wine glasses. I actually got that another day, so we're going to erase that. Okay, so this transaction was at Dollar General, and I spent $1.72, and that was just to get my son some water. And then you guys, oh my god, I had so many sinking funds on this day. So y'all know what I do. I use one strip, and we're just gonna go and use the calculator, and I'll just tell you guys what I got. But yeah, I got a ton of sinking funds that day, so definitely gonna have to use one strip. Alright, so the first transaction that day for sinking funds was out of my YouTube category, and I got a coin jar from Dollar Tree, and I spent $1.34 on that. Also from Dollar Tree, I got my son Kobe, my son Mason, and myself a toothbrush, and that was all $1.34 a piece. So we're gonna do that 3 more times. And then the last thing I got from Dollar Tree was a toothbrush case, and that was also $1.34. Out of my household category at Walmart, I got a candle, so that was $4.17. Then at Dollar General, I got my son Mason some diapers and spent $26.29. Then I went to Rose's and got my son Mason some clothes, and I got both of my kids some clothes, but for Mason, I spent $30.62 on him, $50.79 on my oldest son. And then I got myself a dress, and it was $13.83. And the last thing I got from Rose's out of my household category was just some decor, and I spent $23.87. Hold on, I'm not done. The last place I went to was Walmart, and I got my baby boy a brush for his hair, and that was $7. Then I got myself some personal items. One of them was $115. I spent $89.11, and that includes a pair of pants that I got too. Then on my household category, I just got some like tissues and trash bags and things of that nature for the house. I spent $32.40 there. And then the last thing I got from Walmart was some grocery, and I spent $53.21. You guys don't know, I have made a grocery envelope now. So the total that I spent on this day is $339.14. That's a lot. Alright, the next transaction was on the 6th, and this was a spending transaction. Now this one was the wine glass transaction. So I spent $1.34 at Dollar Tree on that. The next transaction on that day was a gift transaction. When I went to church, I paid some money in tithes, and I spent $5. And then on this day, I had 4 sinking funds transactions. So the first one was at Dollar General, and I just got some snacks. This was out of my grocery category. I spent $3.98. And then at Dollar Tree, I got some snacks there out of my grocery category, and I spent $2.67. And it must have been a later time in the day because I went back to Dollar Tree and got some more snacks and spent $4.02 there. And the last transaction this day was out of my YouTube category at Dollar Tree. I just got some stationery, a few pens and stuff like that. Because most of the pens I got is like this one is like the color of the pen. I don't have any black or blue pens like that. So I decided to get some and spent $2.34. And the very last transaction for the week was on the 8th, which is today. This one came out of my grocery category, and I went to Dollar General and spent $3.06, and that was just on some flatbread because I'm going to be cooking tacos tonight. Today is Taco Tuesday. So yes, that is it for this week. Your girl has a total. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. I did not know I had this many no spend days. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, I got 4 no spend days. I thought I at least had 1. Cause this is today and I knew I didn't spend anything yesterday, but I didn't know I had these 3. Y'all, this is all I have. I have to order some more stickers. That is so cool. 4 no spend days. That is the way to bring in the month of March. That is exciting. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do it next week, because I'm definitely going to have some no spend days next week too, but your girl don't have any more stickers. And I don't think they're going to be here in time if I did order any. So, yeah, might not be able to sticker on next week, but yeah, definitely got to order some more, y'all. Oh my gosh, look at that. Another sheet completed. All right, guys, move on to the weekly check-in worksheet. All right, guys, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and add up all of my spending for the week. All right, so I did spend a total of $27 this week. I put in 40 and I spent 27, so I should have $13 in my envelope. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this over because we are doing a cash unstuffing. So let me bring out my tray. Hopefully it's all in frame. So here's my spending. I'm gonna just remove the $27. So as y'all can see, I have $40, so I'm going to make change. I'm going to take this 20 and make a 10, a 5, and 5 ones. Okay, so here's the change. So now I can take out the 27. So that's a 20, a 5, and 2 ones. So I should have 13, 10, 11, 12, 13. So next is gas. I only had 1 transaction for $50. So I put in 100, subtract 50, and I should have $50 left. So here's gas, and as you can see, it's just a $100 bill. So I'm gonna just replace that with 2 $50 bills. All right, so those are my 2 $50 bills. I'm just gonna remove the 50. So 50 is left as it is. Okay, so I did some adjusting. Hopefully you guys can see everything good. All right, so we're gonna move on to takeout. All right, so I spent a total of $29. So 25 straight 29, so I am negative $4. So nothing should be left in takeout. So we gotta take out $29. I only have 25. So that means I have to take $4 out of my buffer. So here's my buffer. I currently have $6 in buffer, so I'm gonna replace this 5 with 5 ones. All right, so here's my 5 ones. I'm just gonna remove $4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that covers what I spent with my takeout. And buffer now has $2. And takeout has a nothing. All right, next is fun. So I didn't spend anything in fun, so it should still have the $160 that I put in it. So we're just gonna check to confirm. So that's $100, $150, and $160. Now we're going to do gifts, and I only had 1 transaction, and I spent $5, which was all that was in it, so it should be empty. So just going to take out the $5. And it indeed will be empty. Now we're going to move on to the remaining. All right, so with spending, I budgeted $150 this month, and I spent $27. So I now have $123 left. Next is gas. I budgeted $400 this month and I spent $50. So that's $350 I'm left. Takeout, I budgeted $100 and I spent $29. So I now have $71 remaining. Fun, I budgeted $125 and I didn't spend anything, so I still have $125 left. Gifts, I budgeted $50 and I only spent $5, so I have $45 remaining. All right, you guys, so that wraps up my weekly check-in. So let's continue this cash unstuffing with my sinking funds. All right, now that I checked everything off, I owe $64. So that's $64, and I only have $30 in my household envelope. So I need to still add in $34, which I don't have. So I'm going to use what I have in buffer. So I only have $2 in buffer. Subtract 2. So I will be paying $32 to my card on my next paycheck. So I just make a note of that. I don't have my tracker book yet, so I just leave it in a notebook. But this is how I remind myself right here. So I owe $32 to my card. So household is now empty. I'm going to move on to mine. Alright, so I spent a total of $108. So I just take that out. 50, 100. So I don't have enough to put. I'm gonna put that 100 back. So I owe $8 now. So I'm gonna replace this with a 5 and 5 ones. Alright, so here's my change. So I owe $8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. Alright, so my total now should be $25. That's 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. So now I'm gonna add up all of my son Kobe's transactions. So I spent a total of $53 on my son Kobe. So I just will be taking that out. So it's 50 and 3 ones. So you should now have 141, 100, 120, 130, 140, 141. Alright, now I'm going to add up my son Mason. So I spent a total of $67 on Mason. So it's 50, 60, 65, 6, 7. So Mason should now have $80, 50, 70, 80. So my fiance Jonathan, I only had one transaction, and that was for $16. If you are new, I do round up my money to the next dollar, unless it's under 10 cents. I don't know why I do it. How this one is 306, that would be rounded up to $3. I don't know why I do 10 cents and below, rounds backwards, but that's just the way I do it. But Jonathan, I spent $16 on, so just gonna take that out. So I need change, so I'll make this a 10, a 5, and 5 of 1. Alright, so here's the change. So I do owe $16, so it's a 10, a 5, and a 1. Alright, so in my fiance's envelope, he should have 14, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now I'm going to add up YouTube. So I spent a total of $5 out of YouTube. So here's the 5. So YouTube should now have 125, 100, 110, 120, 122, 23, 24, 25. So I didn't spend anything in date night. And then the very last thing on my sinking funds that I spent was grocery on my tracker sheet, which is in my bills binder. So let me get that. Alright, so there's my bills binder. I'm going to flip to the back where I have grocery. So grocery I'm going to add up. So I spent a total of $68 in grocery. So I definitely got to make change. So yeah, I'm just going to go make me some change. Okay, so I made me some change. So I owe 68, 50, 60, 65, 67, 68. So grocery should now have 32, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32. So now we're done with my sinking funds. I'm going to bring out my calendar because I have to remove my bills. Alright, so we're back on my calendar, and I want to point out that I did have 2 bills, or 2 days of bills this week, which they are already paid. Alright, so the rent was due on the 1st, and it was $550. So that's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 520, 540, 45, 50. Alright, so that's paid, and then the credit was due, and it was $50. Actually, it was $51, but I left a note that I owe my car $1 when I get paid again. It's actually $51, so I got to change that. But I'm going to just put in the 50 for now. And then the last one that was due on the 1st was the water bill, and it was $20. All right. And the last bill for this week was on the 2nd, which was the phone bill. And it was 100. Yeah, it was 182. So that's 100, 150, 160, 170, 172, 74, 76, 78, 80, 82. 182. So I just want to go ahead and add up how much I spent this week. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 650, 700, 750, 800, 850, 900, 950, 1,000, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 200, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So that is 1,362 or 462. I'm not sure, but I will post it here. But that's how much I spent, over $1,000, you guys, in a week. That is including bills, like y'all know how bills is. Well, that is it, you guys. That wraps up today's weekly check-in / cash unstuffing video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long. This was my very first one. Your girls got some work to do. But I really thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you have made it this far into this video. And for supporting your girl, make sure you share this video so other people will know about this cash envelope system. And yeah, I will talk to you guys for the next video. Bye, guys.